לבניק בציולי ahazai b'meichash mahalim ifotzi choymes migdolai v'teyim.
Hi everyone. Okay, let's get started. We live in an unbelievable time in human history. Imagine if every time you wanted to eat a vegetable, you had to go outside to your backyard, to your field, to your farm. You had to actually plant seeds. You would have to plow the ground first, plant the seeds, water them, wait for it to rain. You would have to harvest them. It would be months before you can eat a vegetable, before you can eat corn, before you can eat potatoes. If you want an orange, if you want other fruit, you would have to actually work for your food. You would have to, if you wanted clothing, you would have to actually shear the sheep, put the clothing together, spin the wool. You would have to spend a tremendous amount of effort for every item you wanted to consume. In the world we live in today, it's really unbelievable. Anything that we want, anything that we need, within 24 hours, by a click of a button on your computer, it's outside your door. And that's unbelievable. It's really, really incredible that we live in a world where we can have anything we need with such ease. And it's true with mitzvos as well. If you need to make, if you want to eat matzah for Pesach, you don't need to go grow your own wheat and make your own matzah. You can actually go to the store and buy your matzah. If you want to build a sukkah, you don't have to start using raw supplies, although some people do. You can actually go to the store and buy a sukkah. You don't need to go to the fields to get your own lulav. You can actually go buy one from one or have one delivered to your house. And that's true with Chanukah candles as well. Chanukah, you can go to the store, you can buy candles, you can even buy pre-made sets of oil and wicks already put together, and it's unbelievable. And actually, there's certain things that we get for Chanukah actually help the Chanukiah. It helps our mitzvah. It makes it look much nicer. But the Gemara tells us, Chazal tell us that a person would prefer one kav of his own items than 9 of someone else. I would prefer one kav of my produce than 9 of someone else's. Right? 1 potato of mine to 9 of someone else's potatoes. 1 orange of mine that I worked for, the 9 of someone else's. Because when you work for something, it becomes part of you. When you work for something, you appreciate it more. You understand it more. You have more of a connection to it. And that's true with mitzvos as well. As much as mitzvos are beautified by these pre-made items that we have, and they're more accessible because of the technology we have nowadays. Imagine if when Chanukah came, you actually lit oil that you got from the olives. Imagine if you used your own wick. So that's what we're going to try and do over the next few minutes. Now, we're not going to have enough oil for you to use for all of Chanukah. Probably we won't even have enough oil for you to use for 1 cup on one night. But maybe you can get 1 drop. Maybe you can get 1 drop of oil to use on Chanukah. Whether you light oil or whether you light candles, you can add the little drop of oil to your candles. Maybe you can make wicks for Chanukah for you to use either for one night for the whole thing. But no matter how much you make, hopefully you'll get an understanding of how it's done. Hopefully you'll get a greater appreciation of the mitzvah, and hopefully you'll feel more connected to it. When Chanukah comes and you start lighting your Chanukah candles, you'll feel a more personal connection. I understand this better, and this is more part of me than it has been in the past. And Bezrat Hashem, if we continue to develop our relationship to Kadosh Baruch Hu, when we continue to develop our relationship to Torah and mitzvos, we can return to Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, build the Beis HaMikdash, and light the Chanukah candles in Yerushalayim, light the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash, Vitara. So let's turn over now to Rabbi Chaim Metzger from the Zichron Dov Beit Midrash, and he's going to walk us through the process. How do we actually do this?
Hi, my name is Chaim Metzger. I'm a member of Beit Midrash Zichron Dov, and I'm going to be explaining to you a little bit about how they used to make the oil that we used for lighting the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. So Chanukah is coming up, and we celebrate the miracle that the oil lasted for 8 days. But we often forget, what exactly was that oil, and how did they make it, and why did it take so long to get some more of it? So for that, I would like to explain a little bit about the process by which they used to make the olive oil in the Beit HaMikdash. So in order to make the olive oil for the Beit HaMikdash, you had to use the choicest olives that you could find. Not only that, you had to use only the first drops that would come out. And in case you're wondering what are the first drops, so that's what I would like to show everybody today. So in order to get the first drops, you would take all of your olives and you would place them in a large container and you would start crushing them, right? As seen here in the diagram. You start smashing them. And then when you smash this, a little bit of oil would come out, and that little bit is called shemen zayit zach, the purest of oil. That is what you're allowed to use to light the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. But that's not all we use olive oil for in the Beit HaMikdash. It was also used in a slew of other korbanot, as well as for other purposes as well. So now let's talk about the rest of the process. So after you had this, and you then placed it in a basket and waited for the shemen zayit zach to come out, there's still more to be done because that's only a fraction of the oil you can get out of olives. So afterwards, what would we do? We would take our olive oil. We would put it into a crusher. So there's a couple different types of crushers that you would use. So one is the rolling crusher pictured here, where somebody would take the handle, and after all the olives we'd crushed before, we placed them in the base over there, as you can see, and then you would go around and crush it some more, and then some more oil would also come out this way. Okay, and there we have our nice Jewish worker toiling away, crushing the olives. This was the secondary stage. The olive oil from here was not the preferred olive oil for the menorah, but this was still kosher to be used for bringing as part of a korban mincha, meaning the oil brought along with the flour korban that used to bring Beit HaMikdash, and it too is important. So, but as you can probably tell, just by doing that, wouldn't quite get all of the oil out. There's still more to be gained. So another way you can get more out is by doing a more intense press via using weights. So as you see here, you'd use your mechanical advantage here, kind of how you have on a seesaw, to crush the piles, as you can see here located in green. They're called in Hebrew akal, right? These baskets of the olive mush we had from before, we take them and we crush them again, and we leave this for a couple of days and it would slowly drip more out. So this olive oil wasn't as pure, but again, it still had its uses. And in case you're wondering what it looks like, so here's a picture from Caesarea, where they, not Caesarea, but from Catherine, where they show the way they used to be done. You see the basket of the olives, you see the nice giant lever, you see the weights, and they would leave this there for a while until it all came out. But there's also another more complicated one that they had as well, where we instead of just using weight, we use the pressure from using a screw to crush it even further. Again, to get even more oil out of the pits and the leftover flesh of the olive. And lastly, there's a combination where they had both using the weight as well as using the screw, and that's the one depicted here, where they would crush it even more. So our goal, what we're going to do today, we're going to be doing the first one. We are going to be showing how you crush the individual olive.